Hello, everybody. WeeB'S here, and welcome back to the Otaku Overload Podcast, episode 46. Speaking of which, I was just talking about this with the Legend of Jonathan off camera before we started, but we ended up doing not so bad when you think about it, because we started this podcast about a year ago, on Halloween, and if we had done one every week, we would be up to we would reach episode 52, right? One every week.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're on episode 46 is not bad. I think right now, if not, would be like on what? Like an episode like 50 or like 49 or something like that. But the fact that we're on 46 isn't so bad. We ended up not skipping too many of them. So that's pretty good. We've actually been pretty consistent, which is kind of cool when you step back and really look at it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, though, yes, we are here for another episode, and I am excited with some of the stuff we're going to mention. And I know Legend of Jonathan, he was excited for one of them for sure, because it's something he had kind of, I don't remember if we talked about it on camera during some of the Legend of Zelda. I want to say maybe we mentioned, I'm not too sure, but regardless, you guys will see what I mean in a moment. But I think there's some pretty cool stuff. And Legend of Jonathan is here, ready and excited to discuss some stuff. So say hello.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. And
yeah. So with that being said, I guess Legend of Jonathan could take it away, because he finished another one of these little milestones of stuff that he's like been chipping away at for a while. He finally finished everything. So go ahead and tell the people about your week and what you did.
So one of the things I did, well, actually, I feel like this is the only thing, but I finally finished, as of currently, because, we don't know if there's more currently. They haven't announced anything. I finished the last DLC of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I finally finished it.
Nice.
It's the DLC is supposed to be the last events of the original Dragon Ball anime, where Goku fights against Piccolo Jr. At the martial arts tournament. And yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. I thought the new ground battle combat, that's what they call it, I thought it was pretty fun. And I thought the plot was pretty good, the way they did it here. It's the same thing as the original story, but, with the action stuff, they made it more unique. They added more unique dialogue, which I thought was pretty cool. What's funny is when you're like fighting the opponents, you can hear the tournament announcer in the back. He's mentioning all the stuff you're doing.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so like, for example, let's say you like do one of the moves Goku has, like one of his special moves. It's called, I forget what it's called, but I know it's like a Kamehameha. That's why I know for sure. But basically the move is that like Goku uses his feet to do it, kind of like how he did it against Piccolo in the anime. And what's cool is when you use that move against any of the people, including Piccolo, the announcer, he'll even say, he's like, "What? Did Goku just shoot a Kamehameha out of his feet?" And like he'll like comment on it. I'm like, that's so cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and it's super cool. Or like you'll be getting your butt beat, and then literally he'll even comment on it. He'll be like, "What? Will Goku like fall to like Tien Shinhan?" And he'll like even mention it. It's like super cool, and it's like, oh, he's building up the hype.
Damn, that's cool, because I've always liked in games, especially like wrestling games is where I heard a lot of it, right? It's always really fun that they really have like a lot of lines for the actual commentary. Like if you really were like watching, because when you're watching like wrestling or boxing. But especially like wrestling's where I've seen it the most, because there's always the regular commentator and then the color commentator, which means the guy usually kind of goes for like the bad guy, and he kind of sucks up to him, and he's kind of, you know what I mean? So if you're watching like wrestling, it's funny because they always have the commentators there, right? And they're like you said, talking about the different moves and like story and stuff. And I've always thought it's really cool when you're playing one of those games. There's so many lines, they make it seem so real, you know what I mean? Like everything you do and they comment on it. And so it's really cool that for this, they're kind of doing that. That sounds like really fun. That sounds really unique too. So it's not just like, just the fighting. Like that adds a little more to it, which I think is really cool. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, damn, it would be kind of funny if it was there all along. But I get it doesn't always make sense because some things it's not an actual like tournament. It's just you like fighting people.
Hmm.
But it does make me think that it would be kind of cool if the commentary was just always there. Um, I don't know, like for something like Dragon Ball Z fighters, it would have been
Oh,
kind
that
of
would have been
cool. It would
cool.
have been kind of cool if they had commentary. I was just thinking about that. I'd be so hyped hearing commentary for like Dragon Ball fighting. That would be really interesting,
That
actually.
would be pretty cool. Honestly, I never thought about that. That would actually have been really cool
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they had
yeah.
added that. Yeah.
Yeah, you just made me totally think about that because that's like so fun. That's like
That is
really
so,
cool attention to
yeah.
detail. Yeah.
And so that was cool. And then it's cool how like the characters they'll give their own commentary on, Goku, like their interaction with Goku, and then Goku will respond back with something. So like let's say Tien, like you're oh no, like actually the better example is like Piccolo. Piccolo, he'll even mention he's like he'll like mock all Goku's friends. He'll even say he's like, oh no no no, I'm dumb. I'm no, he'll do is he'll compare himself to the people Goku fought before and the people he fought in like the pre um what's the name of like the thing when you're getting into something like a
Preliminaries.
preliminaries, yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll even say he's like, oh, all those people, they were just like bottom feeders, just like that. And he'll give like a freaking like, yeah, like he'll even give like crazy commentary. And then like, I don't know, man, I just loved it. I just loved how they did so much things different with this line. Um,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds really unique, actually. It sounds like it had a lot of detail because it could have just been like just a few more fights or whatever. But the fact that they made it like an actual tournament with like all the commentary and everything, and like I don't know, it sounds like really unique. Like it sounds really cool. If they really went out of their way with this like DLC to make it something that doesn't just feel phoned in or whatever. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
really cool,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that's what I liked. I was like, man, this is actually really fun. I like the fact that they kept the story, obviously. Um, what I did think was kind of weird is that here, because I guess they wanted Goku to not be the only protagonist, they added Tien as a playable character, which is
Oh, weird.
cool. Which
That's
is cool
weird.
because like his role with Mercenary Tao and all that. But
Yeah.
what I would say sucks is that you can't play as Krillin or Yamcha. That's why I think it's kind of weird. Where like literally straight up they'll just kind of skip over them like, oh yeah, that stuff happened, you know.
It happened off camera.
Yeah, like they just got their butts beat by what's his name? Like Piccolo and Kami. And so I
Yeah.
do think it's kind of dumb because it's like, well, yeah, but like I do think it would be kind of cool to just like fight as them too, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um
that would have been pretty fun, honestly. Just more the merrier.
hmm And yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. I like there's a lot of side quests that kind of try to connect it to Dragon Ball Z, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um like Emperor Pilaf, he interferes at the end in like one of the side quests. He tries to like kill Goku multiple times, but then it fails. And then at the end, basically Goku invites Emperor Pilaf and the gang to eat at his house.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then once they
Nice.
leave, they're like, you know what? We don't hate that kid anymore. And they just thought
Oh
about it.
wow.
And they're like, should we try to kill him again? And they're like, no. And then they do is they give up. And so that's kind of like why in Dra
That's why you don't see him later in Dragon Ball Z, apparently.
Yeah, that's why we don't see him. But
Oh
then that's also
God.
why we don't see him in Dragon Ball Super. In Dragon Ball Super, he comes back all like a good guy. So I guess
Yeah.
it's like he just kind of gave up. He's like,
Yeah.
you guys already know if we try to bother this guy, he's gonna like kill us, you know?
Nice. That's funny. I like that they added that. That's pretty funny, actually.
Hmm.
It's a funny little detail.
And so yeah, like I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was better than the last one, which was the Bardock one.
Oh, really? And
Um,
it sounded like you had good things to say about that one too. So the fact that you thought this one was even better, it's pretty cool.
because the other one I liked, and I liked how like when Bardock dies, the way I
I
said
like
it,
when
but
he died.
no, what I liked is like with both endings of both stories, like the Vegeta one and the Bardock one, I like that they try to paint it as, oh yeah, this is the bad ending. There's nothing you can do about it type of thing.
Hmm.
And but like this one, like at least this one, like I don't know, I feel like there was way more. You know what I mean? There was way more stuff. So I think that's the reason why I liked it more because there was like the plot obviously, and they did try to expand on it a tiny bit, kind of like the last one. But I like here, there was so much you can do even after like the tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hmm. And so yeah, I definitely recommend it to you guys. Like I definitely like if you like the whole like original Dragon Ball, I definitely recommend it. especially because the prologue is the fight between Kid Goku and King Piccolo.
Yeah.
So it's like a cool tutorial boss.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
And then like even that, I thought that was like the best thing they can start off with instead of skipping straight into like, him getting killed and that's kind of it. I thought it was pretty cool that they allow you to fight as Kid Goku. Um, but it sucks because even people are saying that like you guys should have just like, I don't know, like made a Dragon Ball Goku, I guess, or something. You know what I mean? Because like if this DLC was really good, where like the original Dragon Ball stuff worked too well, and like Kakarot, like you guys could have just made like the original Dragon Ball in a game again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because the original Dragon Ball doesn't really get that much attention, honestly. It's like really weird.
Yeah,
It's just the focus is really just on Z. That's the what always gets milked. You know what I mean? It's
the
always
most.
Z.
Yeah,
And then kind of now, they've added new stuff, obviously, with like Super, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they don't really just go back to the original Dragon Ball, which is like really weird.
yeah. That's the thing that kind of sucks. Right? If they try to do stuff with like the original Dragon Ball, like somehow like it does end up sucking somehow, which is the weird thing.
Mm,
So like that's where it gets kind of weird because like I know they tried making multiple like original Dragon Ball games, but then they kind of didn't do well. So
mm.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know. Hopefully they do make a new original Dragon Ball game or something soon.
Yeah, I never know, right?
Yeah, that
We'll
would have been
see.
pretty cool.
I was gonna say, man, it's crazy because I'd always heard of, like when the Xenoverse games came out, those felt like kind of like I don't know, I guess it's like the celebration, the ones that felt like they were kind of like a definitive, if you love Dragon Ball, check these out. And then like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot got announced. And at first it sounded kind of silly because it's like, with Xenoverse that covers, suppose so many things or whatever. Like, what's the point of Kakarot? It sounds like it's just like recycling stuff again, but it sounds like it's really like paid off. Like it's been really well done because it covers like all of Z. It throws some of the end of the original Dragon Ball in there. Has stuff like the Bardock stuff and like there's still a whole other DLC still left. Who knows what it'll still cover?
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think this one really did takes the cake for like one of the definitive ways of going through like the whole Dragon Ball Z story, if anything. And that's what I'm saying. Like this like game did pretty well at doing that because like I feel like it's not that the other games do bad jobs. It's just I feel like the other ones kind of just focus on, oh yeah, like just get into the fight and that's kind of it. Like it doesn't allow you to kind of like go to where you need to go or
Yeah,
like do side quests and
this
stuff.
feel yeah, from what I've heard, this kind of feels like it really covers the story and it really lets you like feel like you're in the universe and stuff.
Yeah, like I feel like you're basically just watching the anime, but you actually interact with the stuff.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say, what do you think the last DLC will be?
well, they already covered Trunks. They
Because
already
honestly, what I
covered,
think would make sense is how okay, this one you just played, it kind of helps connect it to the end of Dragon Ball.
yeah.
It would kind of make sense if maybe it's something that'll kind of help connect to like Super.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
That would kind of make sense, right? So it's kind of like, okay, you have the whole game covers basically Dragon Ball Z with some DLC that kind of helps connect to like the original Dragon Ball, and then some that helps connect to what comes after, which is like Super. That would kind of make sense. It could be that
Yeah.
maybe.
Um, yeah, that would make sense. But I think now that I think about it, because I didn't think about it right now, but I just remembered, I think there was a leaked information thing that said the last DLC of this season pass would be the end of Z, like the Oob stuff. I think
Oh,
there was,
okay.
yeah, so I guess it's like they're gonna add more stuff to it to kind of just not make it, oh yeah, you play as Goku for like 2 seconds. He fights Oob for like 2 seconds and then he just dips. I think here they might want to like maybe add some fights maybe or something. Or like
Huh.
yeah, like there was like a whole thing where like I think someone even said like yeah, they found some files that like said that it was probably gonna be that arc or whatever.
Interesting. Huh. Well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Hmm.
Very cool. But it sounds like
Yeah.
you've had a good experience with the game so far. And for now, you're done, until they
Hmm.
announce the next DLC by the time that comes out. But sounds like for now, you're done, which I guess that's pretty cool because I know this is some stuff that you've been chipping away at for a while. Same as like the Pikmin and Evangelion. This is some stuff you just like have been like for a while, kind of just working on. It's kind of cool that you
Hmm.
finally like finished it. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool, honestly. And yeah, that's gonna be a little relevant later. So everybody
Hmm.
put a pin in that.
Yeah.
All right, is that it for your week?
Yes, sir.
All right, pretty cool, pretty cool. As for me, I will start by discussing some of the anime that I talked about last week. So, for instance, I talked about how I had watched the first episode of Spy Family Season 2. I just thought I would talk about the second episode real quick. So, the second episode was pretty fun. While the first episode really focused on the core three main characters, Anya, Yor, and Lloyd, this one was kind of fun because it kind of expanded a bit and kind of focused on, I guess you can say, other characters. So like the
Yeah.
first half, it actually focuses and it follows Bond, the dog.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's really fun. Like, the Bond, since he has like precognition or whatever, it's all about how he has like a little thing where supposedly, oh, Yor tells him that like Lloyd is gonna be home from work late. And he has like a little precog thing where like, oh no, if Lloyd is home late, then Yor's gonna like cook dinner, and if she cooks dinner, I'm gonna die because she like the food she makes is all like terrible. And
Yeah.
so it's like the dog's all worried. And he starts like shivering because he's all like worried. And then it's like all these scenarios where it's like, oh, if I don't eat the food, she'll get mad at me. And then Anya like says that like she'll kill me or whatever. Like all these things, right? The dog's all worried. So he like
Yeah.
runs away because he like has like a little thing where he's like, if I help Lloyd finish his work, he'll come home early. And if Lloyd cooks food, then I'll live. So
What the
like,
heck?
he goes to like track down Lloyd all over the city, and then he finally finds him and he helps him with like a mission. It's like really funny. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first half is like focusing on Bond, so that was like really fun. And the second half, it actually focuses on that kid, Damien, the
Yeah.
one from Anya's school, the one that kind of has like a little bit of a crush on her, and the one that the whole point is that Lloyd needs Anya to befriend Damien. That way he can get close to Damien's dad. That's like his whole mission. But then Anya's a
Yeah.
little shit, so she keeps like fighting him and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it focused on Damien because we've kind of seen in the last season that Damien, he's kind of a complex character where like he has a lot of like issues with his dad. His dad kind of like is negligent and stuff like that. And so it
Yeah.
focused on Damien. And it was just this really nice episode about Damien and his little friends. Because even though they look at their like his little lackeys or whatever, they really are friends. Like they have like a really nice friendship. And it was like focusing on them and this like little field trip they go on with I don't even know what the teacher was. It was just like this teacher, right? But he takes them on this little like camping field trip, and so it focused on them, which is really cool. So second episode's like just like the first, it was really fun, and I thought it was cool that it kind of even shifted the focus away from the main three characters and kind of focused on like the dog and Damien and his friends and stuff. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it, and so far so good with this season. I'm liking it. You know what I mean? So I continue to recommend it. And once again, if anyone wants to watch it, it is on Crunchyroll. So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then another one that I mentioned last week that I watched, this week, I watched the second episode of Undead Unluck. That's the one where I said that it had to do with that girl that she seems to have like this power of giving people misfortune
Oh
if
yeah.
she touches them, and how
Yeah.
basically that she's the unluck part of the title, and undead refers to this guy named that she calls Andy, that basically he can't die. He can do all sorts of crazy stuff using his body parts and his regenerative powers.
Yeah.
And the first episode was all about how they were trying to, there was this like organization that was after them, right? How they basically fought back and like survived against them. And in this second episode, we kind of a little bit more about Andy. That apparently, yeah, he's been alive for so long. He has like all sorts of like bunkers and all sorts of like resources just in different parts of the world apparently. And he takes her to like this
Hmm.
bunker or whatever. And it's like a joke that he helps build the character. Um, Fuko, I think was her name. He helps build
Yeah.
like this armor supposedly because he's like, oh man, I can't let you die until like you help me die or whatever because he wants to die, right? And basically, I don't know, he's convinced that he has to have her fall for him, because that way she'll like really fall in love with him, and maybe she'll you know uh you know do the intercourse with him, because
Oh,
apparently,
okay.
yeah, because the more contact between them, right, like it'll bring them
Yeah.
like the most unluck, right? And so they're
Hmm.
talking about all that, and then they end up getting followed as they're traveling by two more members of that weird organization, and we end up finding out that their name is the, oh my god, what was their name? It's something like really generic, honestly. It's like the Union or something like that.
That's crazy.
It's something like that. It's just like something really generic, right? But
Yeah.
we found out, there's these guys, they were after them. One of them, his name was Shen. He has like this like bluish hair, and one of them was this robot whose name I already forgot. But the point is that it shows them battling them, and we see like, oh, more people with like different powers and stuff. And basically, they Andy ends up defeating the robot guy,
Yeah.
and because there's only like 12, 10 members allowed or something like that.
Damn.
And basically, because that's what happened. Because Fuko, she tells Shen, who's after them, like, yo, what's up with if you guys have powers, how are you guys not getting hunted down like us? Why are you guys the ones that are hunting us down? And he said that basically, like, if you work for the organization, like if you join their ranks, then they won't follow you. Like you get to the privilege of like basically you work for them, right? And like you have to like just do whatever they ask you, like missions and shit. And
Hmm.
that's where B said like, but unfortunately we're all the spots are filled. We only allow like 10 members or whatever. And then that's where they're fighting, and Andy defeats the robot guy whose name I guess I already forgot. And so that's opens up a spot, but there's two of them, and basically the guy Shen, he kind of is entertained by the two of them, and he's like, you guys are like too fun. It would be a shame to like split you guys up. And he kind
Damn.
of tells them like a spot they need to get to, that one of the members is going to be there, and he like, kind of just tells them, assassinate this guy, and then you guys can take the two spots that are open. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what's going to happen next, I guess.
Oh,
So
what
they're
the
apparently
heck?
going to join this organization, which I think their name was like the Union or something like that. And I don't know. We're just it's still like it's the story's still developing, but it's just really interesting seeing more of these powers and more of this world, or how there's this weird organization that they're tasked with, I guess, keeping control of people who have all these powers and stuff. So it's really weird, but it's really
Yeah,
interesting.
that is pretty weird.
So yeah, I enjoyed the second episode. It was pretty interesting, and I don't know. Like I said, still kind of developing, but so far so good. So far it's a very interesting story, really good animation and music and characters and stuff. So I'm enjoying it. So that's
That
the one that
sounds
was
pretty
kind of
fun.
weird though. That it is on Hulu though. So
Oh, that is kind of weird.
yeah, but I'm liking it. And so if you want something very actiony, supernatural with like comedy and stuff, there you go. I think this will be the one for you. This seems like it's like the really cool actiony one for this season, from what I can
Season.
tell. Yeah.
That's gonna be the next Dragon Ball, bruh.
Oh god. The next Dragon Ball. Sure. I mean, it is a shonen, so but nah, it's totally different. I would say it reminds me more of like Chainsaw Man, or like
Exactly.
Bleach, maybe, with the supernatural stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the last one that I had mentioned from last week, that I watched the second episode of that this week, was the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. Yeah, you have to say this, you have to say it right every time. And if you guys remember, it's the one about the character. His name was Rentaru, and that he had got rejected 100 times, and he was really sad. But he meets the god of love, who says that he was busy watching. I forget what it was he watched. I just watched it. I just like saw a little recap of it, right?
Yeah.
It was something like Cast on the Sky or something, man. I saw something like, it was like something Ghibli related, I swear. And basically, yeah, it was something like Cast on the Sky, right? And that's where he like makes the mistake on his paperwork, and so he gives them the 100 soulmates, right? That's what he says,
Yeah.
like, oh, you have to like date all of them, because if not, they'll die, like something bad will
Oh
happen to
yeah, that
them.
was so like yeah.
Yeah, so far he has the two girlfriends, right? The one that's like
A tsundere.
rich, and the one that's a tsundere, right? And basically in the second episode, um it's Hikari and Karane, I think is their names. And basically it's all about how they want to have like their first kiss or whatever, but they're like arguing about who should get to kiss him first because obviously, it's two girls and only one of them can be his first kiss or whatever. And
That's
so like the whole
crazy.
episode is them like arguing about it and trying to figure out what they're gonna do, blah blah blah. It's pretty funny, honestly. At the
Yeah,
end, they decide they're gonna have a three-way kiss. That way they can both kiss him at the same time.
that's crazy.
So that was pretty weird. And as they're, he's telling them to get along and, blah, blah, blah. They go to the library and he accidentally reaches for a book at the same time as this like really shy girl. And
Yeah.
so at the end of the episode, we meet girl number 3 that's going to join the harem.
Damn.
So that was pretty interesting. So I'm like, alrighty. So this is, yeah, we're definitely getting all of the struggles of, him having like multiple girlfriends. And it's only going to get more complicated because he meets the third girl at the end of the episode. So we're gonna have to see what happens next time.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so it's pretty wacky. It's pretty crazy. It's really funny. Having fun with it so far. And I don't know, it has an interesting premise. All these other ones, oh, they're gonna like, have all these girls following him around, but then like I don't know. I mean, here it's funny that he's actually dating all of them and stuff. And like, I don't know. It's just really funny.
So
Like, it
like,
doesn't take itself seriously at all, which is like
yeah,
great. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it doesn't. Not only does it not take itself seriously, but the fact that it like goes there, where like, oh, he's dating all of them, and then they're all okay with it as long as they get to be with him, and like you see them actually doing dating stuff. It's interesting. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I like it. It's pretty good that it doesn't like tease you forever or whatever. It's just funny. It doesn't take itself seriously. I
that does
like
sound
it.
pretty good. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so like, is this protagonist like a pervert at all or no?
No, actually, that's kind of the funny
Oh, thank
part.
God. I was gonna say because I was
So
gonna.
because that's the thing, right? Another one's like, oh, it's this perv. That's why he's always getting beat up and stuff. I mean, he still gets beat up because of the tsundere, right?
Yeah.
But no, he's like super straightforward, where he really is like, I've been rejected, and so I know what it feels like, and like I don't want to reject anybody, and like
Damn, that's
I
cool.
really want to make these girls happy. He's trying to make them happy, like all this like dumb stuff. So it's
Yeah.
it's really funny. He's just like this huge dork. Like when the episode starts, he's telling a street post about his new girlfriends.
What the
He's
fuck?
talking to a street post like an idiot because he just wants to tell somebody. And so he's talking to
That's
a street
great.
post. It's like stupid. It's just like, it's funny. I'm telling you, it
That's
doesn't take itself
great.
seriously. So I'm having fun with it. So I recommend it. It's really funny. And this one is also on Crunchyroll. So there
Okay,
you go.
good, good, good. Okay.
Yeah, most of the ones I'm gonna talk about are gonna be on Crunchyroll, honestly. So
Okay.
yeah, so speaking of Crunchyroll, the next one that I watched, this is a new one that there's only one episode out so far, so I checked it out. Because I had heard it's supposed to be pretty cute, and so I'm like, okay, so I checked it out, and yes, it's on Crunchyroll. It's called Stardust Telepath.
Oh, I think I've
And
heard of that.
oh, have you? That's kind of funny.
I think I have. I'm not
Maybe
sure.
we'll see if it sounds familiar. But basically, Stardust Telepath. There's this girl named 𝐬𝐤𝐤 that she is gonna start high school, but she's really shy, and she's like a big nerd. That's her dream is to like go to space and meet aliens and make friends with them. Blah blah blah. Although I don't know why she thinks that it would be easier to make friends with aliens than it would be with humans.
That
That's
is
the one
kind of
part
weird.
where it kind of makes me go, girl, you know what I mean? But anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
That aside, she's really shy. She likes space and she wants to make friends with aliens. And so she makes a wish on a shooting star. And sure enough, she ends up meeting this alien called you that apparently she arrives on Earth. She's new to Earth and she
yeah.
lives in an empty, abandoned lighthouse. And she enrolls in her school and makes friends with her. And it's
That's
just this
pretty cool.
really cute thing about this girl and her friendship with this, alien girl and how they talk about their dreams. Then the alien girl's like, well, I do need to get home eventually. So if we like team up, about, going to space or whatever, maybe we can make it happen. And that's kind of what the description says. It's about how she and her alien friend that they're going to like make other friends and how they hope to something about like make a rocket to like get to space one day. So we'll see if that
Huh.
happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cute. It's just one of those, comedy. I would say, those like it looks like it's gonna be one of those, cute girls doing cute things sort of anime.
Yeah.
It's labeled as having like, being like a Yuri. anime.
That's
I I
crazy.
I, I can kind of see it because like the girl looks like I could see her having something with the alien. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's supposed to be like this really lighthearted, cutesy, comedy, cute girls doing cute things thing. And I don't know, the first episode was fun, very cute, and yeah, we'll just have to see where it goes, But
Hmm.
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if they really do get to space, and whether people they meet, and will there be other aliens, or will it just be you? I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. But it was cute.
Yeah.
It was a good first episode. It was fine. So there you go. I recommend it.
Nice.
And then finally, the last thing I watched, I was actually gonna bring it up like last week and the week before, but then I was like, nah, instead of making it all awkward of bringing it up and then being like, yeah, guys, I'll be back in like 2 weeks or whatever when it's done. I was like, I'll just wait because it was another 3 episodes. So
Yeah.
same as the other basically I'm talking about Fully Cooley. So same
Yeah.
as Fully Cooley Grunge, which was 3 episodes. This one was also 3 episodes. So I was like, oh, I'll just wait until all 3 episodes are done and then I'll talk about it. So sure enough, this last season, like it's been confirmed that they've said that Adult Swim does not plan to make more. So this is the fifth and
Damn.
final season of the Fully Cooley, sequels. Um, it's called Fully Cooley Shoegaze.
Oh yeah.
And basically, it is a sequel to Fully Cooley Alternative, is the weird part. So Fully Cooley Alternative was the one where I guess technically from what I've seen people, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if it's confirmed. But what I've seen people say that apparently in the Fully Cooley timeline, Alternative actually goes at the very front. It goes at it's first actually.
Oh, what the heck?
And it goes something like I believe it might be Alternative, then Grunge, then Original, then I'm forgetting what the other one's called. They're progressive, and then this one, Shoegaze, is at the very end, apparently.
What the heck? That's weird.
Yeah, something like that. Or if not, or if not, it's Shoegaze and then progressive, something like that. I'm not too sure. But at the very least, I know that Alternative is supposed to be at the very front, which is very strange. And this is 10 years after it, so it's like near the end of the timeline. Really
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, basically Alternative is the one where there was that girl named Kana, I think was her name. And
Hmm.
she's the one that has, the different, group of friends, and that Haruko was kind of like a mentor to her, that explains why Haruko was very different too. She was like a mentor to her, and it's because it's supposed to be at the very front. And basically at the very end of the season, Kana opens up like this portal through like time and space, and her friend Pets ends up kind of like betraying the group and kind of telling everybody off and leaving to like Mars.
Yeah.
And I think Haruko ends up like going through that portal thing as well or whatever, and she gets stranded somewhere else. I don't know, weird stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And basically this takes place 10 years later, and it focuses on a character named Masaki. And Masaki is basically this loner that he started seeing ghosts, right? And he's the
Yeah.
only one that can see them. And it kind of made him this outsider because everybody thinks that he's like a liar and he's like a weirdo, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of doesn't, same as all the other, fully coolly protagonists, he's having trouble fitting in. He's having trouble kind of with his direction in life, blah, blah, blah. And he meets this girl named Harumi. And Harumi's she doesn't have like the bleached out hair or any of that stuff,
Yeah.
but her personality kind of reminds me of, the Gyaru's, where they're very much kind of like delinquents and always getting in trouble, stuff like that. They're kind of, rebels and stuff.
Yeah.
And, he meets Harumi, and basically they become friends. And he wants to basically destroy this tower that's in town. So this time it's not like that iron that we see from Madoka Mechanica. It's like this tower,
Yeah.
and it's the one that there's like this giant like bird on top that's kind of like this like ghost bird, and he feels like it's responsible for all the weird shit he's seeing, right? And he
Yeah.
wants to basically make a bomb to destroy it.
What the hell?
So yeah, kind of weird. And the girl just Harumi, she agrees, And basically, the 3 episodes is about them climbing the tower, and they're going to place the bomb. And then, of course, shit goes down with like the whole NO channel thingy going on, and Kana gets involved. That she's 27 years old now, and she works for that weird bureau that we've seen, that other guy with the eyebrows, the immigration, about Bureau of Interstellar Immigration. That guy Kanda, he's the one who like hired that girl Kana from Alternative, and you see that she's kind of older now. She's kind of bitter because she kind of got recruited into this, and we find out that Kanda, he wanted to open up that portal, and so he kind of almost like put her through these like really stressful tests and a bunch of stuff, and she wasn't able to, and like a lot of stuff's happened in her life, right? And she's kind of her friends moved on, and so she's like really like, I don't know, she just is grown up now, and her life kind of sucks, right? And she still misses her friend Pets from the original Alternative. And anyway, long story short, it's all about Misaki trying to blow up the tower, and Harumi's with him. And we see that Harumi has some sort of ulterior motives. We don't know what it is. And Kana gets involved, as well as the Chief Kanda, and all sorts of shenanigans, as would happen in Fully Cooley. And without spoiling too much, there is weird repercussions of what happened in Alternative, with the whole portal opening up for the first time, and it involves like weird timeline not a timeline, sorry, what do you call it, not different timelines, different
universes.
Yeah, like different universe weird shit, and how ever since she opened it up, it kind of split the world in two, and stuff is weird or whatever, without spoiling too much. And there's some twists, involving Harumi, because like I said, she has ulterior motives. And I don't know, like as any other Fully Cooley weirdness that's never really explained, you know what I mean? But I don't know. By the time everything is done, it does have, I guess you can say, kind of a happy ending in its weird way. And I don't know, I just ended up liking it. It's kind of hard to talk about it without spoiling it. I would say, watch it for yourself. Especially, guys, I would say this is one of the... I really liked it. I've liked all of them, to be fair, though. I've liked all of the seasons. But for instance, a lot of people, they rank this as like their second or third favorite of the series after, like obviously OG's the best. And some people like Alternative, and they place this all after Alternative. So that's the reason I don't really want to spoil it, because even though I've liked all of them, even people who haven't liked their seasons seem to kind of like this one. They still rank it pretty high. And like I said, this has all sorts of weirdness that, not that I can really spoil it anyway, because it's kind of hard to explain what's even happening. By the end, it feels like there's more questions than answers, but I would still say watch it for yourself. You know what I mean? But I still really enjoyed it. I thought Mizaki was a pretty, him and his relationship with Harumi is interesting. Seeing Kana being back, and she's like this like bitter adult, but kind of seeing by the end kind of what happens with her is interesting. And I don't know, just the implications of its place in the bigger Fully Cooley universe is pretty interesting. So I recommend it. I thought it was interesting. I did like it. I don't really know where I would place it. All I know is that personally, I'm a weirdo, and I didn't like Alternative that much. Well, a lot of people liked it, but I don't know. It's because Alternative, I just thought it felt too different. Like I said, Haruko was like too helpful, and she was too like tame compared to her usual self. But it makes sense that since it is a prequel, it's because I guess she hadn't really gone through stuff yet. You know what I mean? But regardless, I don't know where I would rank this, but I do like it. I did enjoy it, and I would put it like closer to like the top, is I guess all I'll really say.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a shame it's kind of the end, because it did feel like it could have used more episodes since it was only 3. Definitely felt like they should have made it like a 6-episode thing to like, kind of develop it more a bit, and I don't know. That's what it kind of makes it a shame. It does kind of make it a shame that this is it. And that, like always, we kind of have more questions than answers, because Fully Cooley is just like that, where it's just kind of like they leave stuff like really weird. But at least it kind of had like a happy ending, and at least things kind of wrapped up or whatever. So it's fine, I guess,
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for Fully Cooley. And
Damn.
I don't know, man. It's just so weird. And like when you look at all of them together, like the bigger universe it talks about stuff, it's very strange. And it's just kind of one of those things where it's really weird that we just don't really always get answers to everything. But it is what it is, and it's just a fun watch. And I think in the end, what really matters is all these stories about all these different characters kind of coming to terms with growing up. And I always thought that they did a good job when it comes to that. So, as a franchise, I enjoy it. And I guess I've enjoyed, like I said, all the seasons and the story it has to tell. So, pretty cool. I recommend it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then one last thing I want to mention is that the English dub is really interesting because the person that voices the main character, Mizaki, is Jesse Nowak. I don't know if that sounds familiar to anybody, but Jesse Nowak is actually a trans voice actor that has worked with Team Four Star. And in the past, they used to work with Pokemon Abridged. So I don't know how many people are too familiar with, all of these like YouTube voice actors and stuff. But yeah, I've like known and followed Jesse's career since, before they transitioned and back when, they were on, they were a part of, the Pokemon Abridged and stuff. And it's really cool that, now they're a part of like Team Four Star. They do a lot of editing and stuff, and they've always had like really good roles. And it's really fun that, yeah, they're the main character for this. So I'm like, that's a pretty cool role. That's like a really big role. And I think Jesse did a good job. So I was just going to say that's pretty cool seeing someone from YouTube strike a bit like that. And the fact that they weren't fully cooly, that's really awesome. So I would say, congrats there. Just want to throw that out there. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. But that's it for my week. Those are the things I watched. And yeah, I'm excited because all the stuff I mentioned I thought was really good. All of the ones I mentioned I started this season, they have been really good so far. And that's only the beginning. I have like a bunch of other stuff on my list that I want to watch. So looks like it's the start of a very good season. So I am excited. And there you go. I hope that some people will check out the stuff I've talked about,
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, speaking of voice actors, that actually goes into our first news story, which is one that it's pretty cool that we finally got the confirmation for this. So our first news story, as the title of the article states, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Mario and Luigi voice actor announced to be Kevin Afghani. So we were always wondering, when are they going to announce who the new Mario is? Because we know Charles Martinet retired, and it's like, okay, who's going to take over? First of all, who's going to take over the role of Mario? And then the question was, okay, we know someone's taking over Mario, obviously, right? But will they also take over Luigi and all the other roles, or will it be just Mario, right? That was kind of the question. Because a lot of people are thinking, since Charles Martinet voiced all of these characters, maybe going forward, they might want to split the roles up, that kind of made sense. Some people thought that, like that way it doesn't fall on one guy. They're like, maybe they'll split them up. Maybe one person will be Mario and another person will be Luigi, and they'll shake things up. But at least from what we know so far, this guy, Kevin Afghani, he voices both Mario and Luigi. Whether he'll voice Waluigi and Wario remains to be seen, but at least Mario and Luigi voices, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with his work, but from what I've kind of read up on, a lot of people were saying that it's really cool because apparently he's this guy that, again, YouTube, apparently he has done a lot of like voice acting for like Newgrounds stuff and like YouTube stuff. Apparently he voices Raditz in this like thing called Dragon Ball R&R or something like that.
Yeah, it's a
where he
thing that,
voices like a Raditz. It feels like good or something, right?
Because it's a series by Team Four Star Goku, Masako X's like own personal like stuff. Yeah, it's like a series that he made or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, I heard that he's done all sorts of other stuff like on Newgrounds and stuff, I believe. I think there's that channel Mashed that makes all sorts of like little parodies and stuff. I guess he's like voice characters on that as well. And he's been in Genshin Impact. Yeah, he doesn't have too many like really like big roles, right? Like I would say
Yeah.
it's mostly been like the YouTube stuff and then the Genshin Impact and now this. And so it's pretty cool that like damn, I mean, he's really worked his way up, I mean, for being someone that like hasn't done too much like video game credits, the fact that he got chosen to voice Mario, it's like that's a pretty big deal. Like good job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from what I have heard of just little clips here and there of stuff that he's worked on, it sounds like he's really talented. It sounds like he has a really good range. So I'm
Hmm.
not too familiar with his work, but I've heard he does all sorts of, like I said, stuff on YouTube, stuff on like Newgrounds, all sorts of little like fan animations here and there. And from what I've heard, it seems like he's really talented. So good for him. And it's pretty cool to finally know who the voice of Mario Luigi is. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Raditz. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, the only thing I don't get though is that I've seen a lot of people really excited and really like happy with it, but then like in the link that in the link that I'm gonna put below that actually leads to the article where it talks about it. It's so
Yeah.
weird that all the people on this they're being really negative for some reason. It's so weird. Like they're being like, oh, they should have just used AI, which is like, aren't we like against AI? Like what the hell, guys? And some people
Yeah.
are like saying like, oh, I can't believe that they used like a fan dub guy and they're talking crap.
Yeah.
So
I
like
don't know.
that's what
People
I
are
don't know. It's so weird because like everywhere else I've seen it, like on like Reddit and like I think it was like a YouTube comment somewhere, everyone's being really positive. But then like on here on 𝐦𝐤𝐬𝐫𝐞, a lot of people are being really negative, which I don't really get. Like it's that's so weird.
I don't know, man. These people are weird.
Yeah, so that just really surprised me. I'm like, I don't know. It's just such a weird comparison, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just want to throw that out there because I don't know. I'm just happy for the guy, and especially because like Mario isn't that complicated of a role. Honestly, he just as long as he can like really emote with like the Yahoos and the jumping and stuff. I don't know. I'm happy for the guy. So I don't know. It's just weird to see these negative reactions. I guess is what I want to say. I don't know. And it's
Yeah,
just
I
weird.
don't know,
It's just weird to
man.
see that on some spaces people are really happy, and then like over here people are just being so negative for like no reason. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird. Speaking of divisive reactions, and this is the one that you said you were really excited to talk about. And
Yeah.
so I guess I'll just read the title and then you can take it away. Toei Animation announces new Dragon Ball Daima anime. So I don't know if you want to take this one away and explain what that means.
Okay, so basically, um, a few days ago, they basically announced at New York Comic Con that there was going to be a new anime in the Dragon Ball franchise.
Which, if you
And
guys remember, as I'm saying, we had talked about this before.
the
That
leaks.
yeah, there was some leaks that it's gonna be called like Dragon Ball Magic or whatever, and
Hmm.
but everyone that's the weird part. I thought I had heard they were fake, and then they weren't fake, blah
I
blah.
heard that too, yeah.
But then, sure enough, it looks like the leaks were real. Anyway, sorry about that. Take it away, though.
So basically, yeah, like he said, where like, there was leaks that said that there was gonna be a new anime. And then people, including me, we weren't really sure because, the source didn't seem so trustworthy. But funny enough, yep, at the New York Comic Con, they show a teaser where it says that there's going to be a new anime in the franchise, a never before seen story, actually,
Hmm.
and that it's going to be coming. Well, they show us at the end, but it's going to be coming next year, and it's called Dragon Ball Daima. Not Dragon Ball Magic, but Dragon Ball Daima. Basically, what they show us in the trailer is that I guess there's these evil entities, and that I guess, like they're looking through, it's kind of weird because it looks like they're going through like multiple story arcs from like Dragon Ball Z. Like they're looking through multiple footages kind of.
Yeah, which is
And
really funny because that's how the trailer starts. It shows them counting down, and they show like, oh, this year there was like this series, and this
mhm,
year there was like this when Dragon Ball Z came out, and this is when Dragon Ball GT came out. Which yes, they do include GT, and they go through like all
mhm,
these different arcs, right? And then you think,
mhm,
oh, that's just for the trailer. But then weirdly enough, like you say, it's like looking through all the different arcs was part of what the evil entities are doing themselves. Like that's
Hmm.
actually what they're doing too, which is really weird. Like they're looking at the whole history, which is really interesting.
And then like it's like they're scheming something, and then you see that like the Dragon Balls were activated, which is kind of weird. And Shenron comes out and he's like, state your wish. And then we don't see what the wish is. We never get to find out what the wish is, obviously, because they never say it. But then afterwards, we see Goku and Vegeta, they're shrinking down, which kind of implies that they're turning into kids. And then, funny enough, we're just thinking, okay, maybe it's just Goku and Vegeta. This is going to be GT all over again, whatever, right? And then we see that no, every single person that's associated with Goku or Vegeta or whoever, they're all kids now for some reason, or infants. Like it's really weird. And so we don't know what's going to happen. We do know is that apparently, because Akira Toriyama was there, like the creator, he says that it's just going to be that I guess Goku and friends are going to go track down these evil entities and try to like, get their adult bodies back
Yeah, they're gonna go
and
to like a different planet or something, right?
or like different world or some weird thing like that. Yeah. And then what's weird is that like I said, where they showed like all the multiple arcs and stuff, it's really weird because they show Babidi a lot. Like, Babidi from like the Boo arc, they show him the most. Like as though he's gonna be important in some case.
Yeah, I guess it means since it involves magic, I guess.
And he's a magician supposedly, or a mage, I mean. Yes, like maybe like.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
And then what makes it funny is that, yeah, that's gonna be the important thing. And then Akira Toriyama right afterwards, he has a little message thing and he says, hello, I'm Akira Toriyama. I'm currently working on this new series. He says like the name, which is Daima. He says Daima is a made-up term, which in Japanese um characters, he shows them. But he says in English would be something like evil, which is kind of funny because, can you imagine calling a Dragon Ball evil? That's kind of weird.
Right.
But then there's like another translation that says something about how, it might translate to magic if you think about it the way you spell it.
Yeah, something about how
Um,
you know how like the kanji or like the characters they can be read different ways.
mhm,
I saw it something like it could be magic, could be evil, whatever. Yeah.
especially because I know King Piccolo's name instead of Daima, it's Daimo, which means Demon King.
Hmm.
So like I like the moment I saw that, I was like, oh, it has to do with something involving evil, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it shows in the trailer, which he points out here, that since Goku's so tiny again, he's gonna have to use the power pole again, which is funny because Goku doesn't usually, even now as an adult, we never see him use it because I guess now he's super like strong. But yeah, apparently he's gonna have to use it again, which is pretty cool. And
Which I think is kind of funny though, because like, what does him being small have to do with using the power pole? I would think it's more that he doesn't need the power pole because he has all of these like power ups, right? And
maybe
it's
he,
like
bec-
is him getting powered? I mean, is him getting shrunken down back to his kid Goku? Does that mean he's like also losing his powers then?
yeah, it's probably gonna be like
Is
GT where like he lost his powers.
yeah, I guess that's what they're implying then, right? That's not just that he's small, but it's like he's getting reset, I guess, and I guess that's why he's back to the power pole.
Hmm. What I would think is kind of dumb is that obviously, like this implication, it is true. It kind of is copying a lot from GT, like you can tell. But what it seems based off of everything we've seen, it's not the canon replacement to GT though. Like that's how I'll state it. It's kind of obvious, like they're kind of going in a different direction in some sense. And like, what I mean, like GT is its own thing, especially because this trailer kind of points it out too. Um,
Yeah, like
I would just
the fact that they added they showed it in the countdown. I mean, they could have not had it, but they had it.
Yeah, like it implies that even if it's not canon to like our main timeline in a sense, it's still its own thing. So like to make this like the GT of this timeline doesn't really count either. You know what I mean? It just kind of is like saying that what a coincidence that in this timeline too, Goku's just a kid. You know what I mean? Like he turns into a kid. What I would say is that it still is cool. It kind of implies that GT is its own thing and that we know it exists out there in this universe in a sense. And that even Toriyama states he's like, no, like GT is not gonna get replaced. even if it doesn't happen after all this stuff, it's not going to be like replaced at all, you know? But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this because I don't know, man. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it looks super weird. I don't even know. Like, I just don't get why. Like, why is everyone a kid? What's supposed to be the appeal of that? Like, I don't get it. But I mean, I don't know. It could be interesting. That's all I'll say. It looks unique, so we'll see how
Hmm.
that works. But that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
how I had said it. Like, I started with like the reception or whatever being,
because some
uh,
people didn't like it and some people did. Yeah.
yeah. Some people are just like mad because they're like, it's the whole GT bullshit again. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then, I don't know. Some people are just like, that's cool. We'll see where this goes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hmm.
What some people are pointing out that I do agree with. They're like, damn it, we just got Trunks and Goten's older finally.
Yeah, and then
and
now
and
everyone back
then
to
yeah, now in this we're gonna have to see them be babies basically because well, you know, all the people who are adults are kids, and then those two they're babies.
I
So it's
wonder,
like
I wonder, because they didn't show Gohan or Videl. I wonder if they're gonna be kids or if they're gonna be like toddlers, like little kids, like just kind of like 5-year-olds. I wonder if they're gonna like make it like that or if they're gonna like,
yeah, I don't know because they are you know because let's say everyone you know Goku and all of his friends right they're around the same age and then you
hmm
have that's true you have Gohan and like Videl they're adults but it's true they're younger obviously and then
hmm
you have freaking yeah Goten and Trunks that they're like teens so if the
hmm
adults are like little kids and the teens are babies that's true like at what age will that make freaking Gohan and Videl that's true right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of
Oh, and
weird, yeah.
shout out to I love that Roshi literally looks just like if he was Krillin.
As a little baby, as a like, yeah,
He looks like if he was Krillin,
that's
but
the
you
thing.
know,
Yeah,
dressed as as Roshi, which is really funny. Which
yeah,
is
that's the
weird.
thing.
Oh, and one other thing, he's still bald. So did Roshi just never have hair? Then like, what the hell, man?
I mean, I thought he said that in the original Dragon Ball. I thought he said he naturally was that. Oh, but then again, he could have had hair and just lost it naturally. But no, I thought he was naturally blonde, naturally bald.
Yeah, because as a kid, he looks like Krillin. He's just bald. It looks like it looks like it was literally just Krillin, you know, dressed, you know, kid Krillin, you know, dressed as Roshi. So it's like I don't know, but hey, it's funny. I don't know. The designs are
Yeah.
funny. I just think it's funny. Yeah, I think even Android 18 is a kid, right?
Hmm.
Which is kind of funny because you know, as being a robot or whatever, you think maybe. But yeah, shout outs to Roshi. I think he's one of the funnier looking ones. And I
Yeah.
love Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan looks
Mr.
funny because
Satan looks crazy. Like I was like, what? That's him as a kid. I'm like, I thought he was gonna have like the old face for some reason. I was like,
nah. So yeah, shout outs to Mr. Satan also. I think he looks
uh,
pretty funny. So I don't know.
yeah,
So I don't know. Very weird premise, but we'll see how this works. Hopefully it's good or at least like funny, at least worth watching, you know what I mean? And yeah,
yeah.
it's coming sometime this is fall 2024. So, you know,
Hmm.
there you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, so there you guys have it. So we only had two news stories for this one. I thought those were the two that were pretty interesting, pretty big for this week. You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty good stuff. To end off this podcast, it'll be pretty brief. We couldn't really think of a recommendation for this week. We kind of thought about it, and there's some we thought of, but we kind of want to save them for like other discussions or whatever. So all that we were going to say is that yeah, there's a lot of games coming out, like really big
Hmm.
ones this week, and so we are just kind of like remind everyone to like go check those out and may kind of just talk about what we think about them and stuff. So for instance, I think the one that comes out the soonest is Sonic Superstars, which I believe comes out
Hmm.
on the 17th. And I was gonna say that, yeah, I'm excited for that. I definitely want to check that out. I know you had said the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. I think it looks pretty cool. Whether it's actually gonna be good, I mean, who knows? But it looks promising. It looks interesting. I hope it's a good game. And like I said, it comes out the 17th. So hopefully people are excited for that. Then on the 20th, we have both Spider-Man 2 and whatchamacallit,
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
yeah, I'm really excited for both of those as well. I think I'm
Hmm.
more excited for Wonder than I am Sonic Superstars.
Damn, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I really want to check that out. So the thing that's about Spider-Man 2. Damn, I just still haven't bought a PS5 is the thing.
And then it's like a PS5 exclusive.
I know. So that's the part that really does suck.
Hmm.
I'd been holding off this whole time, you know what I mean? Because I guess there was like stuff that looked interesting, but I didn't know if there was anything like that big that like, oh man, I can't just play it like on Switch or like Xbox and that sort of thing. This
Yeah,
is like the first game that I really want to play because I really had a lot of fun with the first game. This
yeah,
really makes me kind of want to buy a PS5. But then I don't know, well, that remains to be seen. I don't know if I really want it that badly, but the game definitely looks really cool. So I don't know.
yeah, I agree.
And then there was some other games coming out. Like for instance, there's a Hellboy game that got announced. Um, it got announced like during some. I forget when it got announced. It got announced during some direct or some sort of like a presentation, right? But then we hadn't really seen more about it. But yeah, it's called Hellboy Web of Weird. And supposedly they say it's going to be like the gameplay of Hades with a comic book visuals. Like it looks kind of like I don't know how to explain the visuals, like cell shade, I guess you can say. It looks really interesting. Apparently that comes out really soon. It comes out on the 18th. So that should be coming out, pretty soon after this podcast goes up. Um, what else is coming out? I forget. I could have sworn there was like another couple we were going to talk about, but I think those are like the real. Oh, Alan Wake 2.
Hmm.
I don't know if that comes out by the time that we do our next podcast episode. That one's kind of a weird one, but yeah, that the whatchamacallit, Alan Wake 2 comes out really soon as well. Oh, I don't know another one. It was the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. That
Yeah,
also comes out pretty soon. That one is a bit iffy though, because I've heard that some of the games aren't the best. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I've heard some people say that for like the price you have to pay and the fact that they're, some of them you can't do much about like the frame rate, but like the fact that I think they are locked to like, I don't know, certain resolutions and stuff. I don't know. I heard some people say that it was kind of like a hit or miss or whatever, that they're like, I don't know. They think that the PS3 collection that came out was probably more worth it, honestly. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I've heard some mixed things about people who like know about the games and know about emulation and all that sort of stuff. That they say that it might not be like that worth it. You know what I mean? Um, like they had said, maybe the second volume might be more worth it because you know how MGS4 is kind of stuck on PS3. So
Yeah,
that one they say might be a bit more worth it because like, okay, at least it won't be, if it really is part of volume 2, it won't be, like stuck on the PS3 forever. But I heard some people like I said, talking about how they were kind of iffy about, the resolutions and the frame rate and all that stuff. So I don't know. But
yeah.
and then oh, the other one that I was really excited for. Once again, I don't know, the next episode of the podcast might be up by then. Uh, that game called Minako's Night Market. That game got like announced a long ass time ago. That looks like it's kind of like Animal Crossing ish. It's like definitely one of those little sim games, you know what I mean? And like it has a lot of like
Yeah,
little yeah, that game got like announced a long ass time ago. And it just like never like it was always like, when's the release date? When's the release date? When are we getting it on all these like systems or whatever? And yeah, apparently it says that it's supposed to come out on the 26th.
damn.
So that's exciting. Because yeah, I from what I've seen, that game looks really fun. Where there's like this little market, and it's kind of supposed to be like a bit like Animal Crossing, and it has like all this like different gameplay and quests and stuff. So I don't know. I had been like following the game for a long time, so the fact that it's supposed to finally come out, that's exciting as well. So I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
We're getting a lot of games this month, and a lot of them like within like the next week or week and a half. So I'm just saying that's really exciting. And so I just kind of want to throw that out there since we didn't have like a recommendation. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there to remind people that, hey, a lot of games coming out, guys. So here's your reminder to, check those out and, see what you give a chance to, see what you play next. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any last ones you remember, or you think we kind of covered the ones we had talked about, the ones you can think of?
I think we've covered pretty much all of them.
All right. Cool. All right, then that is going to be it, I guess. So there you guys go. That is the end of the podcast. Hopefully we discussed some stuff that you guys enjoyed. Hopefully we discussed some stuff that you guys are going to check out. So that sort of thing. And yeah, next week, not quite the anniversary yet. There's a couple more weeks till the anniversary. But I guess what we got to start discussing off camera is if we're going to do anything special for the 1 year anniversary of the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we need to discuss about.
Yeah, we got some thinking to do. But yeah, hopefully we'll come to some sort of an agreement and we'll let you guys know. But until then, we'll try our best to be back next week. Hopefully you guys have a good one. We are out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.